Mic check, mic check, mic check. Greetings across the earth. Again, give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator of nature. Declaration of Indigenous West Indian Americanhood. House of Dallas, Ahuuakhan Indian Nation. Sovereign assertion. The Ahuuakhan's position. We are West Indian American, not African descent or origin. This is a reclamation of ancestral truth. It resists, refutes, and rebuts the colonial lie that Caribbean peoples are merely a byproduct of slavery. Instead, it affirms that West Indians are Indigenous Americans, heirs of the First Nations of the Caribbean Archipelago. West Indian equal Indigenous American, enshrining our position against colonial distortion. We now wait upon the mainland Indian to throw off the yoke, their colonial yoke, that foreign congress off their neck. We now wait upon that, God, that colonial congress has nothing to do with the West Indians. Our invocation, reverence, or sanctuary by the flame of dawn and the ancestral witnesses, this declaration is spoken in eternal record for perpetuity. Article 1, lineage. The people of the West Indies are of Indigenous Indian American descent. The Arawak, now Ahuuakhan Indians, are the First Nation. Then came the Caribs and Taino, a term coined by the 1492 Eurasian Spanish invaders. The Ahuuakhan West Indian bloodline flows unbroken. We are West Indian Americans, not of African descent, nor origin, and not foreign by colonial imposition. Article 2, geography. The West Indies is located between the Tropic of Cancer and the equator in North America, by land, by lineage, and by the laws of nature. The West Indians are true Americans. No colonial maps, foreign borders, and or colonial decrees can sever us from our American continental belonging. Article 3, identity. We reject the colonial lie that Caribbean identity is defined by African transatlantic slavery. We affirm our Indigenous West Indian American heritage and sovereignty, our ancestral continuity, and our eternal right to self-naming, self-determination, self-identification, and all other inherent fundamental rights. Article 4, history. The Spanish Eurasian invasion of the Americas, 1492. The United Kingdoms and Colonies creation, 1602 to 1620. You can look at the what was it again? The Charter of New England 1620. That's when them create their council in North America. Just do your basic research. The United States of America, independence, 1776. The United States Empire, 1781. This is when the American Indian, now citizens, are governed by the United States Congress. Again, the United States Empire in 1781. This is when them organize themselves in a corporate governance. This is when them really, so them get independence from them Great Britain, them foreign crown, and this is when the American Indians were enslaved officially. Why? Because the American Indians did not get any independence or freedom. What they get is civil rights. Who got the independence and the civil liberties? Who fought for that? Those Eurasian colonizers, the colonists, separating from their colonizing masters. This should be clear. Again, the United States Empire, 1781, the American Indians, now converted and transformed into United States citizens, are governed by the United States Congress. The American Colonization Society, ACS, relocated Indians from America to Africa, 1816. I them do their own research. Don't just take my word for it. Article 5, Indian distinction. The West Indian Americans, Jamaica specifically, gained its independence from the United Kingdom in 1962. The West Indian Americans are not governed by the United States Congress. This is the distinction between the American Indian of the United States and the Indian American of the West Indies. You see the term? I would have phrased differently because I am Indian first before I'm American, meaning I'm man first before any designated country, state, or nation or organization. This is why we say you can't have an organization and whoever created is not sovereign in their capacity, meaning they have not established a house. Hence, the house of whatever colonial representative will be representing y'all. Clarity. Clarity. This is why we have a sovereign protocol, which is separate and distinct from the Ahuuakhan Indian Nation Declaration where we present out there, where we have a constitution where we present, we have a Bill of Human Sovereignty where we present, we have a couple of more things where we issue. However, you as the individual have to structure for you and your progeny or your house or your family, just one. And everybody have a rare. It just depends on what the ones them do. One family household have a seal, and that seal govern that house. You understand? And the ones them will learn how to, function on that level. Take control as executor, the executor / trustee. Because the executor role is similar to the trustee. It's just within the trust confine and call it trustee, and within the, you deal with estate, then we're going to say the executor. But you have to have an estate first before the estate can go in trust. And what Babylon do is that encroach upon our infant estate, and then they create what I'm called a trust, express trust, which is a social contract. So you have the instrument itself, where you use the bond number, and then you have the social construct where there is an trust fund or there is the financial aspect of it. This is what them attach themselves to in order to gain interest. That's why them call it the debtor side, but the debtor side of it correspond with the creditor side. So this is why people will say you are the debtor and the creditor. You're the creditor because you are the source, and you become the debtor because of the usurpation. However, once you have clarity, you won't be deceived easily. Yeah, man, you will not be deceived easily. Excuse me. So again, West Indian Americans, specifically Jamaica, gained its independence from the United Kingdom in 1962. West Indian Americans are not governed by the United States Congress. This is a distinction between American Indian of the United States and the Indian American of the West Indies. The West Indies are geographically part of the Americas, specifically the Caribbean archipelago, which lies in the region of North America, again between the tropic of and the equator. By that measure, West Indians are indeed Americans in the continental sense, not outsiders. So for the mainland Indian want to have this clarity, go do some research and get yourself in order. Now, the colonial narrative that separates American Indian from West Indian American often obscures this truth. Why? Because it was framed by Eurasian, European, Spanish invaders who imposed categories that served their own political and economic interests. Article 6, Sovereign Reframing. Geography. The Caribbean islands, West Indies, are located in the Americas. To call their people anything other than American is a distortion. Do the research. Don't take my word for it. You understand? If you think the West Indies area right here is located in somewhere in Africa or in the so-called Eastern Hemispheric region, then you go ahead and believe that nonsense. We are here to set the record straight. Yeah, man, we are stop and correct these colonial fallacious records. Period. Colonial naming. European invaded the West Indies after mistakenly believing they had reached India, Asia, and was spelled Hindia with a H, Hindia. That's Hindia over there in Asia. So this is why them would take on the West, them, make that claim, West Indies, and we not have a problem with being Indian. All the documentation what the colonial invaders have, so them take away Indian possessions, Indian lands, Indian property. The trick is that you who are the Indian, they misclassify you, rename you, and call you everything else but Indians, really. And that's the truth. Now, this label stuck, but it was never the true identity of the people. Why? Because we are Ahuuakhans, naturally, all away. All away. Indigenous continuity. Arawak, Ahuuaks, and other ancestral nations existed across both the Caribbean, which is the West Indies, and mainland Americas. The distinction between American Indian and West Indian is colonial and artificial. Both are indigenous Indians to the Americas. We're going to look at the colonial benefits for this fallacious narrative. Colonial benefits. By dividing indigenous peoples into separate categories, colonizers weaken claims of unified sovereignty and land rights. This is why we can't call ourselves American Indian and assimilate ourselves with those people. When you do that, you get deported. You have to stand up as West Indian when you're sovereign, and you have to have the knowledge for, validate those stands. I saw it go. Yeah, man. So these people divide the people, and then have them at war with each other. When a man like me can look and say, hey, United Congress enslave you mainlanders, irrespective of whatever it is you want to say, and we can validate it, improve it by the laws or the legal standards that are imposed upon the United States citizenry. No different from the British imposed legal standard here on their islands or here in the West Indies. No different. It's the British United Kingdom and colonies. It's a unification of all these foreign people came here. Check the records, don't take my word for it. And their whole enterprise is funded by the VOC company. And that VOC company is the Amsterdam Banking Cartel or Banking Syndicate. And they're closely associated with the religious Catholic cabal. This is clarity. We now come on a surface level. This is, again, clarity. Yeah, man. So again, the colonial invaders benefit by dividing indigenous Indian people into separate categories, where colonizers weaken or claim to unified sovereignty and land rights. This is why you have a set of Indians say, we have this and we have that, when they make deal and sell out and look on all the others. Are we here as Nestorian king? We don't operate that way. We create an environment where each individual nations can create their own association, affiliation, organization, and come together by communal relation, and we step forward. This is how we have to structure. We can't structure like the colonizers then lay foundation or framework for us. And this is the problem with all gurus out there. They're not authentic, they're not organic, and they're not original in absolutely nothing they present to my people who are Indians, both on the mainland and in the West Indies. And all of them look like me. So anything we're different, it's called miscegenation. It's called a mix with a foreign ones. And this is clarity. Hey, do the research. Don't attack me. I'm only the messenger. You get me? Scrutinize the message. Refute or rebut the message. Simple. Yeah, man. Now this fragmentation served it served the conquerors, so-called. It served conquest. It served colonization. It served these foreign colonies. It has nothing to do with truth. Absolutely nothing. This is why we have to present our truth, which is the truth. And we know truth alone is sovereign. This is why we express ourselves as sovereign, and we claim sovereignty with absolute clarity. Now, Article 7, sovereignty. This declaration stands as a sovereign artifact of the Ahuuakhan Indian nation in America, House of Dallas. It binds our identity to earth and lineage, totally immune from foreign conquest, totally untouched by corporate fiction, illuminated by our ancestral flame that burns perpetually through our DNA, which is what I'm called the deoxyribonucleic acid. Bloodline thing, consanguine. Now, seal of affirmation. One seal governs. The house seal of Dallas inscribed in gold, guarding this truth for perpetual archive. Complete gratitude. Free people. Yeah, man. Ahuuakhan Indian nation in America. Bold and brave. Firm and strong. Yeah, man. May the Most High guide and protect the item in all the item endeavors and in all the item ways, and bliss the item perpetually. Salute Joel Jaguar. Salute Sir Ryan O'Neill. Yeah, man. Honor with respect out there. Complete gratitude for passing through. I don't know if they are them still there out or they are them gone, but you know, when they're on the next side, you know, in other notes, is when I'm done with that side and come over this area, I can see what I go on in other chat area, you know. So complete gratitude. Again, with a step forward for bring clarity, honorable clarification, because a lot of people out there do a whole bunch of things, but again, we can't follow these people. We have to just set the trend. We have to set the precedent. Yeah, man, because most of who do what them do, them just learned that yesterday. Most of them probably learn from people who learn from I. You understand? People that I literally taught these things. Them learn from and twist and turn and, you know, work with the foreign CIA presentation where them always find some imaginary redemption without true expression. So we not follow those nonsense out there. We are an extension of the creator. So we create our own process. Yeah, man, and express our creativeness, which is, you know, inherent within all of us. Yeah, man, it's just that somehow we activate a bit earlier than others. And the ones that will just get out here is still on that, you know, say financial roller coaster. They're blinded by that imaginary, you know, wealth and totally ignore, you know, freedom, freedom in and freedom in, totally ignore sovereignty. Them lack vision and them don't know what it is. Yeah, man, them operate from a colonized or a enslaved perspective. It's like sleepwalking. You understand? The brag and publish how woke they are. Hey, we're awake. You need to wake up while they're sleepwalking, literally dreaming. And it's obvious out there. Gotta pay attention to the information that we express. A little bit unique, a little bit different, totally autonomous. Really, really grassroots. Yeah, man. And we are emit this frequency from this rock. Yeah, man. From the center location of the earth. Yeah, man. Mayaka, now called Jamaica. Yeah, man. But when I take the name on a place, this is why we claim Ahuuakhan, not Jamaican. Ahuuakhan. Yeah, man. Specific. Because you have all different kind of people here on this island. But the original beings are the Ahuuakhans. That's what we claim. Now, any unlearned scholar out there can choose to refute or rebut this information, word for word. You understand? And bring your receipts. Don't be a colonizer, because you have no existence or place in this hemispheric region, period. You can't be a foreigner and try to challenge the original being of this location. West Indians who are sovereign do not play that. Take it to the United States Congress, American Indians. They might entertain those concepts, but the West Indians, the Wild Indians, we not play that. We reject all imposed authority, whether foreign, whether international, whether local, whether domestic. We reject it all. This is why we claim sovereignty with absolute clarity. And this is the authority. Somebody here on the island notify the Jamaica Supreme Court and their Chief Justice, Byron Sykes, to this information. We're not going to really have interest in notifying the unlearned politician. Yeah, we are work with them gatekeeper, the judiciary area. Why? Because I am Chief Justice. Yeah, man. Superior Court Justice. That's who I am. Chief Counsel for the Ahuuakhan Indian Nation in America. Yeah, on Nantucket Island, over there, on the mainland, United States of America Corporation. Those people call me Big Chief. I don't know why. Because I'm not 7 foot or 8 feet. Yeah, man, I just stand up a little bit, about 6 feet. So, it go. Yeah, man. And so the brave may fall but never yield. So, irrespective of what it is, there is no submission or capitulation on our part. We're not going to sell out. We can't. It's not in our DNA. You understand? Yeah, this is why we anchor ourselves in a truth. Yeah, man, and express it and allow any one of you unlearned scholars out there to refute or rebut it. Again, don't be no foreign Eurasian ones that come try open your mouth here. Not in this hemispheric. You try that to decapitate your colonizing ass. Stand down and go around a Eurasia go make some claim around this. Now may I talk to any other nigger here, especially some of you niggers on the mainland who love to puff on yourself up. Step up and tell me this information is incorrect. Step forward. Or forever hold your peace. You are colonized. You have a big Congress, foreign Congress, that's an elephant in your location. And you have the audacity to look at the West Indian as inferior? Correct. That nonsense. That's correct it. Because we are all one. It's just that uno enslaved brawlingly. And Babylon are try enslave we with some sodomite politician, and we not accept that. We are going to war them from now to eternity. And we say blood for blood. Which pussy? Which colonizing pussy? Are you insane? Listen, let's get it together. We can. Let truth be our anchor. Yeah, man. Let's remove the fictional division. If uno American Indian ever choose to say, see West Indian there, and that's our thing there, then that's when uno get freedom. That's the only way uno can acquire sovereignty. Because those United States Anglo-American will never release you people freely. Impossible. They are the parasite. You are the host. So if you eject those parasites, they know they'll die. What do you think they'll do to you, American Indians? You better get your axe together over there. Stop being deceived with word wizardry and stop selling out each other for trinkets. It's embarrassing, really. And the whole earth laugh at your gimmickry, literally. So now forget it together, man. Use correct information as a guide. Use truth and claim sovereignty, not no citizenry. Claim sovereignty. Anyway, complete gratitude again. Complete gratitude.